Alrighty, I am back. Yeah, reports of my demise have been non-existent, but I am back. Somehow I have managed to get my stream working again. So I've been away for many reasons that I'm not going to go on to about on stream, but disease, death, and depression. So yeah, I'm back, and we're going to get started on a new art challenge. So today I am beginning the 3D work. I've done some little sketches on the new Hum3D car render challenge, and this time it is flying cars. So let me go to my browser thing. There we go. Okay, so Hum3D, we've done a few contests for them before that I've enjoyed. This one is a nice change. We got a little bit of sci-fi here, so we're not gonna be so crazily focused on realism, on mechanical elements, but we're just making something that feels cool, and I'm excited by that. And I've come up with the idea of I'm gonna make a futuristic flying food truck. That's my idea. I don't know why that got stuck in my head, but I thought it would be pretty cool. I'm just going to quickly run through what it is. You can see we've got 60 days left. And basically, they want us to imagine a world with flying cars on or above the city roads. Do they still need wheels and gasoline? Not mine. Maybe they don't even need drivers anymore. I should hope so, but if they're flying cars, actually, that would be pretty scary with people flying around, zooming around like crazy, the way people drive these days. So, yeah. So we can do any related topic to the sci-fi city vehicles. Don't limit the creative ideas. Open to all comers. Comply with the rules. We'll look at that, but it's actually pretty simple. Basically, we just need to create a 3D vehicle in a 3D environment and make it pretty. Just make it pretty. We've got until the 31st of May. So it started about 2 weeks ago, but I finally got around to get the stream going. So the basic rules are it just needs to be a sci-fi car that can fly. It can be a truck, so that's why I'm doing a food truck. It can be a bus, a pickup, or a van. It has to have the 3D environment. Military vehicles such as tanks, fighting vehicles, airplanes, helicopters, rockets, ships, and motorcycles are not accepted. So it has to be actually some sort of recognizably as a car or truck type thing, not a tank or a jet. It's got to be personal car sort of style thing. And then basically the rest of it is just it's got to be made for the contest, and it's got to be 3D. So yeah, as I said, we've done it before. It's going to be pretty fun. There are prizes, but that's not the main reason why I do it. And so as I said, I was thinking of doing a flying food truck. So my thoughts were, if we do something that's sort of, what if in a Star Trek world you had a food truck? Because, Star Trek, you got people with replicators and fancy tech. What if we had sort of the hipsters of the far future where they've got a little food truck with organic, non-replicated food? My question to you, though, is what kind of food? Because I haven't decided that yet. So please let me know. But if I pop up into the Blender, I do all my 3D stuff in Blender because that's my jam. This is the little sketch that I've come up with so far. Oops, deleted the wrong thing. So we've got basically a little van type thing, vaguely reminiscent to a existing sort of vans, but we've got sort of futuristic stylings. So yeah, if you've got ideas on what I can do with this food truck, flying car food truck, that's almost a tongue twister. I might change something with like these funny little hover things. I think Star Trek style things wouldn't use that. I was actually looking at just before the stream what they actually have for cars in the Star Trek world, and basically they've got sort of like the shuttles that they use in Star Trek. So something in Star Trek that they have a lot is these sort of nacelle type thingies. I don't know what season this was from, but it's got those sort of long little hover anti-grav sort of things on the edges. So I think I might actually take that, so this almost looks like the Star Trek ships with the little nacelles sticking out the side there. So I was thinking maybe for this I could just go into my design and just sort of have a sort of a sticky outy little hover thing there instead of the four wheels. So I'm just going to get in some basic shapes because I always draw a little side view over here. So I'm going to take that for bringing in the idea of doing a food truck. I feel like it's the less obvious solution to the thing because I think people like doing sports cars and super fast looking things when they do sci-fi. So going for something a little bit different. Awesome. We can go in here and get a nice little rounded front. I want to still make it look like it's got the design stylings of vans and trucks that we use today, but then just sci-fi it. Yeah, that's why I was trying to think of like going for like futuristic hipsters where, in Star Trek they've got the replicators for the food. Maybe these are the people who are like, screw replicators, we actually make real food. So you can have like 100% organic, non-replicated, whatever. I haven't decided what kind of food. That's what I'm not sure about. In Deep Space Nine, the one character's dad has a Creole sort of restaurant, so maybe we take homage to that and do a sort of Creole sort of style.
Tell them to either sit down and grab a menu or get out of my restaurant.
Jake, get them a menu.
But sir,
I would recommend the shrimp Creole.
Should actually put this image in front so you can actually see it. Haha. Yeah, like I feel like people who have food trucks always feel like they need to have some sort of gimmick, just have something to stand out about. That's why I was thinking to go for like the non-replicated tech stuff, because then it would basically be like modern day kitchen technology, because how else can you change what you got in the kitchen beyond I don't know, fancy electric stoves? But we've got induction stoves, so I don't know. But I think that's sort of something that goes on top of the vehicle itself. So I think once we've got a little basic shape working, we can work with that. Width-wise, does that look right? Let me actually just get some dimensions of the truck. So we've got, this is sort of 2.5 meters. It seems about right for a vehicle size. And then it is 2.7 meters by 4.6 meters. Actually seems about right. Some sort of hologram advertising. Yeah. No, I think it's all good ideas, but it is on top of the vehicle still. So unless, I mean, you got these food trucks which are basically like giant wiener dogs and stuff. So if we went that direction, then maybe not. But I don't feel like that would fit in with a Star Trek style universe. Maybe that's just me being too logical. I don't know. My words are being... I have made some disgusting elements over here. Merge. And what I actually want to do is I want to get more of that sort of streamlined futuristic look to things. So I might actually go back and remove this. I mean, that is one way to go about it. Like, make it sort of feel like rustic classic tech slapped on top of a futuristic style vehicle. I don't hate that idea. What have I done over here? I should not have extruded that face inwards. Yeah, so I want to figure out like what sort of technology they're using to try for flying. Do I plan to try streaming the project regularly? I am intending to. Yeah, so I'm going to try get back into the swing of things, doing it, several times a week. That's the plan. I'm hoping I can stick to it and, get back into the routine. Don't hold me too hard on that. I'll definitely going to be working on it as much as I can, so hopefully it'll keep you distracted during that. So I'm just pulling this out over here to get that sort of floaty anti-grav nacelle sort of thing over there, instead of like the two wheel holes. What do they call that in cars? Wheel wells. Like ignore that and go for like the Star Trek sort of shuttle style look thing over here. I'm gonna make this a little bit more opaque so we can actually see our thing over here. It does feel maybe a little bit fat, so let's just maybe just make it a little bit thinner. Like most of these trucks are normally pretty cramped. It can be useful again just to have like a little human size thing in here. I just put the little armature in there and get an idea of how big a person fits into this vehicle. Figuring out where their floor level would be is normally got a little bit of a below wheel sort of thing there. The scaling seems about right. Person is in there a little bit cramped, but one single person moving around in there can do pretty well. Got this little window area over here, and then we just ka-choink in there. I want to sort of figure out now how I'm going to do windows. So we've got the little cab at the front. This is like design styles cues from ordinary vehicles. You've got the little cab, and then you've got this add-on overhead sort of thing there that they sort of join into the cab. You've got that modular element in vehicles. And I feel like that's something that you would still keep in a future world of Star Trek-y vehicles. So let me bring that through in there. Instead of doing it the stupid way I just did it there, just actually knife through the whole thing at that point. Make sure we've got the cut through enabled. I think that's... I have forgotten the keyboard shortcuts. Stupid brain is being very slow tonight. C for cut through. So now we can get that line going through over there, and then we can say, well, we could also add in a sort of a secondary line over here going down and cutting through like that. So then we've got a little window over there, and then we can say this can be our front windscreen. Normally with these larger vehicles you want to have your windows wrap around a little bit lower so you can get some better viewing of the front of your vehicle. Normally what I like doing is adding like materials on here, so then I can say that this will be our window zone over there, and then we can just sort of get a feel for it. So this is super blocked out. Basically today I just want to get like the blocked out idea for the vehicle, the basic proportions and stuff, and then we can sort of detail it from then on. So if you look at my little sketch over here, I had a little bubble window thing on there, and I was thinking something that would be pretty cool. I've been rewatching Star Trek because it's my jam. At some of the shuttles, really like the shuttle from Enterprise. Not everyone likes Enterprise, but I enjoyed it. It's got a nice little shape to it. It's sort of somewhere between Star Trek and more sort of contemporary designs. And I like that little shape there. We've got that sort of domey window thing there. You got more flat shapes in the Enterprise era. I kind of really like the Enterprise era Enterprise as well. It's just, it feels more grounded in like a 2000s reality as well. Like there's like more pass through, like it follow through from today to there. And as I was saying earlier here, you could just see the sort of the nacelle thing that they've got going into their shuttles and stuff. So I feel like I want to get a little bubble window thing over there in the front of our van. Just reminiscing from this sort of idea over here. To get in there, I want to create a sort of pop-up section in the middle over here. So I might just take that section over there. I'm going to extrude it out a little bit. And what I'm just going to do is I'm going to grab these and just merge them back in over there. So we've got this little section over here that we can then just flatten in a little bit so we can get that sort of smoother zone in there. We do want some aerodynamics in this. It's a van. It's not going to be going cruising at enormous rates, but it's still a flying vehicle. It's got to have some aerodynamics, right? Now I want to go in here. I'm going to add another loop over there. And then this section over here is going to be our little domey bit. So I want to take this and I want to get these edges feeling a little bit more organic. So I'm going to take these. Again, this is just my rough out, so we're not worrying too much about geometry and all that. Probably should have actually assigned these bits afterwards, but whatever. And yes, we've got some funny little geometries over here, so let's just go in there, delete that vert. This section over here. This is something that happens when I do silly stuff with the mirror modifier. It's fine. We just need to get these edges. Pop. Do we have the auto merge on? Yes. I sometimes just like buffing that up for our little rough models over here, just so we make sure we don't get weird little geometry things. Okay, so I just want to get these little faces and make them the main material over here, so we can get that shape and just the feel for it. Yeah, good enough. Assign that back. I feel like it needs to be a little bit rounder at the front, so I'm going to grab that, put on my little proportional editing thing there, and just smooth that shape in a little bit over there, get some roundness. So basically that's just an additional window so that people who are inside here have basically like a little skylight for standing inside the vehicle. You can see there's head height. Get a little bit more light in the vehicle. Also just looks pretty nice. It's sort of like an adaptation from like camper vehicles. Like if you look at camper van designs, sometimes this section is like a separate section on top of the cab, and you can have like a little bed in top there, so you can sleep in there and actually have space to like cook and whatever in the back of your camper. In this vehicle, it's more just for extra space. So we're going to have an open cab sort of design over here, so you can come sit in your seat, and there are not going to be any walls in there, but it's a modular design. We're going to go with that. And in this case, it's just more light, more visibility, and just using up the available space on the vehicle design, so we can actually get something that looks interesting. So if you look at my little sketch that I made, basically I also had a sort of a narrowing shape at the top over there, get some more aerodynamics in that sort of top zone. So I think that's something that I want to get into our little base shape over here, is maybe just create a little midpoint over there. I might mess around with that a little bit, get that a little bit higher, and we can get these a little bit lower over there. Something like that, so that we can then get these corners. Ooh, I've messed up something right and wicked with that little geometry over there. That's when I did the double bevel sort of thing over there. Let's turn off our proportionals. Is that just a floating vert? I think it is. And let's just say by distance we can remove doubles, because I've done some funny stuff over there. As usual, my geometry is mucked up. So what I would like to do is I want to take this edge over here and bring it in a little bit. Turn off our proportionals. I think we do want to have that sort of feeling of cramped space in here. Especially I feel like a flying vehicle, mass is a thing, even in like a Star Trek style thing. This is not a warship. This is not the freaking USS Enterprise. This is a personal vehicle. I feel like there's still some limits in what that world has to offer. Like it's a utopia. It's post scarcity in a way, but there's limits to it. Like, people don't just go out flying in their own personal starships. It's, well, maybe some of them do, but some people just want to have a food truck, you know. Okay, so actually I think I'm going to go in here, delete those. Try and make something a little bit nicer with this geometry. I'm just hand adding some nonsense over here. We can neaten it up later. I just wanted to make a little bit more sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that. Let's go to the side view, and we want to go from there down like that, and maybe down from that one. And it didn't actually go all the way through. Oops. That's fine. Kind of want the base to be flat. I feel like the underside of an anti-grav style car, you want to have a little bit of a flat base sort of thing still. Just feels right. Have you all your mechanical stuff going under there. Well, it's not really mechanical at that point, is it? So I want to just smooth this corner off. It doesn't look amazing yet, but this is just the basics of getting the shape in there. Now, since this is going to be adapted from a van type shape, I feel like we need to have our classic van back doors sort of in here somehow. Now, and multiple different types of doors that you've got in vans. You've got the double doors, you've got the single wide opening door, you've got the little roll-up door. I kind of like the double door idea, because then we can have one of those doors sort of flop open, and then when you've got your your store open on the side here, you can have your menu on the outside of the door or something like that. So I kind of like that idea. But that's not important to the main shape at the moment. Super basic shape still, but don't worry, we'll get somewhere still. We should get in our door elements for the side over there, because that'll give us proportions for where we can actually fit in the what do you even call it? Your meal window, your counter? I don't know. We want some headlights on the front because this is still a car. I did do some sort of coloring pattern ideas on here, sort of taking after the VW sort of style camper van shape, because that's sort of got that, for the time it had like a really sort of modern look to it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you must be crazy. But let me just quickly, the classic, the absolute classic. You see what I mean? There's still something really nice about the shape. You've got that sort of bubble sort of thing to it, and then you've got these nice curves and stuff on the front there. So I was thinking of getting in that sort of coloring theme to it, because it was sort of designed at a time to feel futuristic. I mean, it's not futuristic, but you know, at the time, and for the hippies, get that sort of hipster feel for our food truck. So we got this. Let me just hide that all a little bit more again. So maybe we want to get a little bit of that shape coming in here already. So let's go from like there to there. And then maybe this piece is no longer window. It's the original shape over there, and we can get some follow through of that line in the rest of it. No, it's above the window over there, so that's not exactly right. You would sort of actually want that to come in line with the window, but we could just bring up this line over here, so it sort of matches in there with that, but that's actually way too high. Maybe I need to rethink that angle that I made that. Let's just undo, get that back in there. So that's coming down to that point over there. So I'm gonna go from here to more about there. I know we're causing some funky geometry over there, but we can always retopo later. Because then we can sort of go through here and can say, okay, this isn't actually window over here, but it's just the underside of that colored zone over there. So we can sort of say all this over here under this line should be of a little bit of a different color. So we can say new material, just give this little color so we can get a feel for it and assign that. I kind of like that sort of pastel orange, but nothing is set in stone. Like if we get food that fits with a different color, of course we can go with that as well. So I feel like this transition is a little bit harsh over here because we've got this line under the windows immediately changing. So I feel like we kind of want to have that sort of just have a doesn't like the bevel over there, that's fine. Just want to have a little bit of a gap under there, so that this piece is not actually that same bit. And then on the front over here, I feel like we would also want to have just a little bit of separation over there, so that piece is over there like that. It is very flat at the front over there, so we might want to also just go in here and the streamline. Just for some aerodynamics, you want to get some air being pushed out of here. We just got now a flat wall over here, and for something that flies at probably faster than a car would drive, it's probably not ideal. So I am just going to go in here and see if I can get just a little bit of a curve over there. Let's grab that piece as well. Let's go up a little bit and deselect those. But yeah, so I am glad to be streaming again. I have not done it in, I think it's like almost 6 months now, unfortunately. Things have been hectic, but as I said, I'm going to try get back into doing this regularly again. I enjoyed it. I was actually doing it really super consistently for a long time, and you know, life finds a way to screw you over. So let's see. I don't want it to be too crazy curvy. This is still, it's still a van, okay? It's not a sports car. That's kind of why I like this idea, because we're going for something that's just a little bit different. The shape for this front window over here is also a little bit weird. Normally when you've got not a vehicle, you don't want to have these massive bits with no visibility. So maybe we want to bring in here and make these pieces over here part of the window as well. So let's see if we can go in here and find a way to make that work. Because visibility is a huge thing in vehicles. Like, they spend a lot of time designing around that sort of thing. And I feel like a flying vehicle probably would go doubly. Again, you can probably add some self-driving capabilities to things in the future. But surprisingly, in Star Trek, self-driving things are not a big thing. People seem to like to have control over their own things. So we are going to have our own little controls section over here, you know, little touchscreen things. That'll be a fun little design thing to do as well, as design little touch things. Do we want to go with the TNG era? Do we want to go with post-Voyager style stuff? I feel like that's pretty fun. Yeah, so I was thinking also we can continue this sort of shape that we made over here with this little bit. Maybe have just a little bit of a sort of a ridge on the top of the vehicle. We've also got these now random faces in the middle over here that I forgot about. That is the one downside of the method I use for like extruding these things on a mirror modifier. Just need to remember to come in here and delete these random faces. Think I got them all. It does do some weird stuff. Anyway, so now we just want to go in here. We want to grab this edge and just move it over a little bit, just so we got that little bit of something over there. So let me just grab this light. We want to rotate that around, just so we can get a feeling for the lighting on here. Because it's, again, another thing that's pretty heavily focused on in vehicle designs is the lines and the shapes and how things sort of flow through. We're still keeping it like really simple at the moment, but like this first bit is actually kind of important in just getting the feel for the future thing of it. And there's definitely something wrong here still. I think it might actually be this window over here is too big. If we go through here like that, grab that piece and make that the old piece. Yeah, that smaller window actually makes it feel a little bit more van-like, more truck-like. We may even want to make it a little bit longer than my original sketch. Still, that's something selected there. Just to make it have slightly better proportions. Yeah, I think that does feel a little bit nicer. I still might want to bring back a little bit of those sort of wheel arch areas, but I like having this sort of long thingy over here where we can sort of have some sort of anti-grav, something nacelle-ish, floaty thingamajiggy bobs, you know, sci-fi techno-babble. But I think the basic shape is at least coming along a little bit. We might want to get a little bit more smoothness in the shape of the windows over there. Maybe rounded corners would be nice. Maybe make it a little bit more bubbly as well, like that top window over there. I'm just thinking now. So we could get a little bit of that shape changed over here if we get like maybe a little bit sleeker sort of change of shape over there. There are a lot of vans these days that have that sort of, I don't know what you call it, sort of like a little swooping little cutback piece. I might even go in here and sort of go like that, and then that little piece can also be window. You got that sort of something. I don't know why that's a thing. I think it's sort of just for a little bit of extra visibility for turnings and stuff. Hey, I'd like you guys to meet new friend. This is Thorin. Hello.
Free me or face my vengeance.
Yeah, so part of the things while I was gone from streaming for so long is I lost Grail, which was a painful thing. So
Unhand me, human.
trying to get him on camera, but he hates it, and he is a black little void over here. But Thorin is a beautiful little old black rescue cat, and he does not want to be here.
Finally, you shall pay for this.
Let's get back to this. Yeah, I do feel like having a little bit of that bubble element might be cool. So I'm just going to bring out over here, make it a little bit rounder. You got this little pop over piece over here. Might feel pretty interesting because then you got a little bit of, you know, you can lean down and look look out the front of your vehicle. Maybe when you're parking in your flying parking spot or whatever. So maybe we just bring this down a little bit with a little bit of a rounded front over there. Get some visibility. I think that adds to it. So what we want to do is we want to think of where we're going to have our lights. So I'm just going to add a little cylinder over here. I like these slightly over-exaggerated headlight sizes over here. Why is that not coming out, that piece over there? There's something weird going on here. Is that not centered? Shoink. Let's get that over there. So I feel like if you're flying around in a futuristic city, some nice lighting out the front to see. Be good. Visibility. We might actually want to add some lights on here. You've got your nav lights on an aircraft. You would probably bring those on into flying vehicles. Now, I can't remember the conventions now. I think it takes after sort of like from boats, but you've got like a red light or green light, and you can sort of get the direction that things are traveling from that. But that's a detail that we'll bring in later. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Yeah, I think that's starting to look a little bit more like the original idea. Let's bring back that sketch. Now, something that's often a thing in vehicle brands is like having their grille be a thing, you know, it's recognizable and whatever. I feel like with this vehicle, adding on a grille doesn't make any sense. If you're going for that VW camper sort of look, that didn't really have a pronounced grille, so let's not do it. We could have some sort of logo thing on the front. I'm not sure. We will want to think how we're going to do doors. We could just have it with open up at the back and you get in like Star Trek style. They normally just had one sort of entryway thing. Sometimes it would be a little thing that would just opened up. So we could do it like that. But I feel like a car you want to have, if you're just using it as a car, you want to have a door just by the thing, by the driver's seat to just get in and go. Maybe also as exits, emergency exits as well. So maybe we will add on a door over there. I'm feeling like the basic shape it's getting there. We might want to bring in, I feel like a little bit more of a curve from the front there. So we've got like the old wheel well sort of curve. I feel like it still adds something to make something feel like a car. So we might want to just come in here and just going to add in a cylinder. Go to the side. I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees over there. Bring this ostensibly where a wheel would have been. And just look at how we can take this shape. I'm just thinking sort of like the leading edge of that curve and maybe sort of make it as part of like the housing for the anti-grav or something. So let me just cut that in half. And I'm just going to delete some of these verts so we can get just that sort of bit of curvature. And I think we're just going to cut off the back end as well. So we're going to add on our mirror over here. We might just join this back into the thing later, but we might just have it as sort of like a piece as well. In some of like the previous bits of my sketching, I did have a sort of almost like an airfoil sort of piece over here that sort of directs flow. Because I kind of like that. It gives you this sort of thing, if you look from the front, it gives you the sort of shape that you're coming into. I'm not sure if that's still visible anywhere in this. I did have, if I can open this up somehow, so you can see my little sketching time lapse. So I had some versions where I did like a more blocky thing. You see I got like little blocky little wheel well sort of things there. Didn't quite like that shape. Explored a little longer food van sort of thing, almost sort of like school bus style things. This is the bit that I was thinking of, maybe sort of almost sort of like a wingish piece coming from that shape. That's not exactly right, but you know what I mean. Sort of like airfoily sort of piece from the wheel well, and then you can sort of see in the little sketch over here, I had that piece coming up in the front there. That's sort of what I'm thinking about now. It's just adding in a little bit of a detail on that. I had like double pieces, so we've got the piece at the front wheel well and the piece on the back wheel well. I'm not sure if I'm going to have that still, if I'm going to, like, having the 4 wheels is not really necessary anymore. But bringing that into the design somehow, I think could be cool. I kind of like in this sort of interim piece over here where I had this shape, and then after I transitioned it into the smooth sides, we had this sort of interim little bit where there's still that, it almost feels like the front is slightly more aggressive. It's got this sort of scoop sort of piece over there, and I think that's not the worst idea. So I'm gonna see if I can come and bring that in somehow. I like it being a little bit curvy and not as aggressive as that shape was, but maybe just a little bit swoopier than this. So we're just going to break it up, that perfect circular element over there. So we've got a sort of slightly more aerodynamic little scoopy bit, and bring that back a little bit. I don't want it to become too wide though. That looks a little bit weird. Maybe it does come in front a little bit. Let's look from the top. Maybe it comes in line with just about the front of the window section over there. It's still got the extra visibility down the front from that bubble of the window, but then this piece comes just a little bit forward. So if we actually go in here and we add that orange material there so it fits in, let's hide this so I'm not confusing you the whole time. Can maybe get some of these lines to blend with this a little bit better. If we add a little bit of thickness to this, I feel like there's something there. Maybe if this edge sort of comes on here, let's just turn off that, follows through the back of the shape. Let's just bring in ambient occlusion. It just lets us see the shape a little bit better. I get a little bit of a line over there, though I feel like that should almost align with this color separation over here. That can maybe almost blend in with the shape there and be part of the counter for serving food. Not part of the original design of the vehicle, but I feel like that could work. Now it's coming into this area. I feel like it is helping. Maybe bring it back a little bit and then blend the body a little bit better into the shape. So like this whole section over here feels like it could smooth out and join in there a little bit. Get this line actually coming down, smoothing into a sort of a curve, and then this piece can sort of blend in with that curve. And this would all sort of be joined in with that shape. I'm really messing with my geometry to do this, but I just want to get the overall feel a little bit more interesting. The way I've done that, it actually adds a little bit of a scoopy bit on the front there, which I kind of like. Might actually go in here, pull that forward a little bit, and then this piece, we could take this edge and if we just align that a little bit better, smooth up that curve. I feel like we got a little bit of something interesting happening there. So I'm going to try to do a lot more of this vehicle off stream as well. I'll keep the progress showing on like my videos and all that. But I really want to go for like high detail, high fidelity. We've got a really like nice small scene over here that we can do some cool stuff with. I feel like I am going to keep the stream short today. I've made it to actually stream again, which is great. Got the basic shapes in here. The stream is working, which is amazing because I was kind of worried after months and months and months that my settings would have all gone kaput, but it's fine. I hope you like this idea. Again, reminder, this is for the Hum3D Flying Car Challenge. Let's just show you that again. That's the Hum3D Flying Cars 3DR Challenge. We've got 60 days remaining as of this moment. And yeah, my idea is a flying food truck in a sort of Star Trek-y style future. My question to you that I'm going to leave you with, please let me know what you're thinking. What kind of food are we going to serve in our flying food truck of the future? My tongue is twisted. All right, thanks for joining in. Short stream today, short and sweet, but I'm back. Thanks for joining in, and I'll see ya next time.